Welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your girl Bean, and I'm your blissfully single one. Child, I gotta be at my job number 2 to make that part-time Skrilla in about 15 minutes. I gotta leave. So I'm trying to make this, I've got to make this a quick review of Cherish the Day. Cherish the day. I want to say cherish the day, but I really mean cherish the love we had. We should. But anyway, child, I think this was the last episode. And I don't know if it was the last episode, but I do know a friend and I were having a conversation, and he says, well, this is the last episode because we're on episode number 8. Man, I'm lining up with these shows and how many episodes they tend to do per season. It does make perfect sense, but it still makes me very sad. This was such an amazing show with such a deep storyline, and the writing was just amazing, and the two actors conveyed this love and chemistry that we don't often see. You know what I mean? Certainly not from, our Lifetimes and, our VH1s and our Bravos. You know what I mean? So I know this may be the last episode until they decide to pick it up again, but let me tell you something. Oh, man. It was a good one. Gently is getting things together for Miss Luma's birthday party. Miss Luma must be turning 90-something, but, Gently is at her house getting things together, and Miss Luma's current caretaker is there. And when the episode starts, Gently is going back and forth with the caretaker because, Gently knows everything that Miss Luma needs. And Miss Luma's new caretaker is that, hold on, Gently. Listen, you may think that Miss Luma still wants orange of essence in her tea, but Miss Luma now likes the white sugar. You know what I mean? And he makes a very good point because Gently likes to act like she knows everything because she's worked with Miss Luma for so long. But it's been 3 years that you haven't worked with her and someone else has the job. So he says to her, listen, I know you're coming from Gently, but how would you like it if I rolled up to wherever you were working and said, listen, I can do this podcast better than you even though I just started? And Gently still didn't receive that. She's going to do her, when it comes to where Miss Luma is concerned. They're getting everything ready for the party. And they think Miss Luma is somewhere off napping or oblivious to everything. And here comes Miss Luma walking in like, what up? Gently looks over at the new caretaker like, really? You really couldn't make sure she was napping? And the new caretaker is like, young boy. He's like, I thought she was napping. You were wrong. Miss Luma knows exactly what's going on. She knows, what the deal is. And she asks Gently if she can pull her aside to have a private conversation to the side. Now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, where's Evan? Because, where we see Gently getting everything together. And Gently is moving to San Francisco because she landed this big hoity-toity job directing podcasts for a company, and we're like, okay, big time. But the fact that she's moving to San Francisco is making everybody raise an eyebrow or two. But anyway, Miss Luma's talking to Gently, and Miss Luma said, listen, this is my day, and every birthday is a blessing. This is my day, and I can do it the way I want to do it. But what I'm telling you right now is the way that I want to do it. Miss Luma says, I want him here. And when Miss Luma says, I want him here, I said, well, damn. Gently and Evan is not together no more. Because when she says him, obviously we talking about Evan. I said, well, damn. Ava DuVernay, you really played dirty. I know their marriage was on the rocks last episode, but we loved them so much and we were fighting for them as a couple and as a married entity. We were rooting for you. Damn it! Miss Luma goes on and says, I want him here. This is my birthday. And I know that you and him are divorced, but it doesn't mean that I love him any less. I love the both of you and I want him here. Gently says, well, Miss Luma, I don't know how you're going to swing that because he lives in Tokyo right now. Tokyo? Evan, you went off to Tokyo? My heart is broken in a million pieces. Miss Luma doesn't care. Miss Luma's like, yeah, whatever, work it out. All I know is I want Evan and his pretty little behind, and the whole suavemente style to be at my party. Parties popping, and and it's a Roaring Twenties themed party. Now, based on Cicely Tyson's age, Cicely Tyson is in her 90s, so the Roaring Twenties would be perfect. I lost my grandmother about 2 years ago, but she was born in 1928, and she was younger than Cicely Tyson, who plays Miss Luma. So I said the Roaring Twenties is such a perfect theme for the party. And of course, Miss Gently just here to... Miss Gently is not playing with any of you hoes. Let me tell you something. She's not playing with near none of you biatches. Because Gently just looked absolutely amazing. From her hair to her beautiful gold gown to the heels. She was... serving you heifers, serving. Party's going on and everybody's catching up, and then we see Gently's bestie. Gently's bestie is pregnant, and she's pregnant in a non-conventional way. Non-conventional or unconventional? In an unconventional way. And it's like, okay, I'm not a conservative, neither am I a liberal. I don't like to put myself under any label, because at the end of the day, all these labels are full of shit. Everybody's out for their self-interest. So I'm gonna be Bean, and I'm gonna form my own opinion from bits and pieces from different philosophies that I come across in life. So I preface this to say, listen, I'm not one of those uptight religious conservative people, but man, I wish it would come to a time where we valued marriage to get married first and have kids and solidify the black family. So to hear her best friend is having a baby, and it's not a conventional way, but she's still good, and you know, baby father is nowhere near the picture. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but she's there. The bestie's there. Evan's niece is there, because you know, they, whether or not Gently and Evan are still together, they formed this family and this bond. So they're chilling, and then Evan walks in. I said, well, oh. First of all, Evan, you were not dressed for the Roaring Twenties theme. But that's not to say you didn't look good as hell. I was, who tailors your clothes? Evan. Oh, Evan just looked good. Evan just looked good. He looked every bit of the gentleman. And when he walks in, he looks at Gently. Gently looks at him, and Gently says, hi. And then he says, hi. So it was a moment of time where you can tell, like, the very air from the damn diaphragm was taken away in awe of each other. We felt that. We felt that. We felt that all a ways. Yes, Ava. Party's going on. Evan and Gently are catching up. Gently lets Evan know that she has this big hoity-toity job in San Francisco. He's like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. And he's talking about his travels in Tokyo. And when he said Tokyo, in my head, he must have landed his CEO position, or he must be heading a tech company over in Tokyo. And he's talking to Gently about how much he loves the travel and the dynamics of a different culture. And Gently's looking at him in awe and amazement. And it's a nice juxtaposition against last episode, where Gently was the one that really craved being somewhere else other than what she knew as home. So I'm looking at this like, oh, Gently, ooh, he's right where you wanted to be only last episode, or maybe a year ago. You know, this script is very fast forward, and so excuse me if I don't know the time frame, you know. The woman of the hour comes downstairs. Oh, even before the woman of the hour came downstairs, we have superstars in attendance. We got Miss Loretta Devine. We got Quincy Jones. I said Quincy Jones. And then I had to look. I said Quincy Jones was friends with Miss Luma, a.k.a. Cicely Tyson. So that's when I Googled his age. Quincy Jones is 87 years old. So that puts them in the same age range. I said, damn, I just didn't know he was that advanced in years. So just everything made sense, because yes, we know Miss Luma is a fictional character, but at the same time, Cicely Tyson is Cicely Tyson. Hollywood royalty, honey. The queen of all queens. She's been in this game for how long? So in real life, when Cicely Tyson celebrates a birthday, I can imagine it's a very star-studded affair. So I like the connect that Ava DuVernay makes with Miss Luma and the Cicely Tyson in real life. So, you got the star-studded event. Everybody's dancing and drinking, roaring 20s in full effect. Gently looking as good as hell. And then, pow! Birthday girl shows up. Miss Luna comes downstairs with the shawl and the hat that she pops off the shawl, and everybody's looking at her, and she's in her moment. And this scene is everything that it needs to be. It's a celebration of life. It's a celebration of the elderly, because yes, the elderly is not disposable, despite what our leaders of this country may think. The elderly bring with them a special wisdom and a foresight that can guide us, the up and coming, and show us how to do things the way we should do things. So that scene where she comes in was just everything. Like she pops it. She like kicked in the doorway in the 4th floor. All you heard was "Papa, don't hit me no more." Like her presence made that much of an impact. She comes in, everybody's applauding her, and then she sees Evan in the background. She launches her little sexy old finger and says, "You come here, young man." And she said, "Thank God you made it. I did not want to celebrate my birthday without you and her here together." All right, Ava DuVernay, like you took it easy on me the last 2 episodes, but this is one scene where I started tearing up, like, my allergies. Everyone's having a good time, and then we need a besties moment. Gently is in the kitchen doing what she does, cleaning up or whatever. The best friend comes in, and the bestie is like, "So you gonna act like you don't see Evan looking good as hell?" And Gently's like, "What do you mean?" Gently, you know what she means. Evan is getting some appetizers, and he sees Parent Ben there. Now, Parent Ben is there with his sexy little chocolate, Nubian girlfriend. And Evan approaches Parent Ben and extends his hands for a handshake. Parent Ben looks at that extended hand like... Parent Ben says, "Listen, I'm not shaking your hand. I don't like you. I don't rock with you like that." And that's when Parent Ben says to Evan, "You left, my G. You left and you didn't tell us you were leaving." And Evan says to him, "I'm sorry." He says something to the effect of, "I left gently because I tried and nothing worked." And this is another moment where I teared up, because, Evan, you left gently? I don't know, because I dragged Gently in my last review, so I thought if this marriage was going to end, if there was going to be a divorce, it would be Gently leaving him so that she can be the free spirit that she is. But to see that Evan, who I thought was fighting hard for this marriage, just up and left and went to Tokyo, I said, "Evan, you left?" Now, I'm not the type of person that suffers with abandonment issues, but what I will say is that there have been key times in my life, key moments in my life, when I have been abandoned, where the people who are supposed to be there for me the most in a way that is just fundamental, they have left. I've never used that as an excuse to just mess with random dudes or participate in destructive behavior to fill a hole of abandonment inside of me. That was never me. That was never me. But what I will say, I'm not gonna get emotional. What I will say, gosh, damn it! I gotta go home. I'm getting emotional doing this video. What I will say, to know that Evan left gently, it struck a nerve in me that made me very sad. And I have to applaud Gently for being an amazing woman, because if he left, had I known he was coming to this party with Miss Luma, I wouldn't have stayed. I wouldn't be able to take it knowing that we were in a marriage together and you just left. There was no resolution. You left and that ended the divorce. So that was a moment where it was like, Gently, I dragged the hell out of you last episode, but I am sorry, girl. I didn't know, like, Evan just bitched up and left. Party's over. Everyone's going home. Loretta Devine and Quincy Jones give some nice speeches. And before, the party completely disperses, Loretta Devine is talking to both Gently and Evan. And that beautiful high-pitched voice of hers. "Oh, you guys look so cute together." And they look at each other like, "Yeah, we know. But, shit ain't popping like that anymore." Party's over. And Evan and Gently say what we think are the last goodbyes, and Gently gets to clean it up. And before they say the last goodbyes, Gently does approach the elephant, just does speak to the elephant in the room. She says, I wanted this big podcasting career. Do you think that was the failure of us? And Evan says, no, you can't put that on you, because I was loving you in a way that I thought was a great way to love you, but it wasn't a great way to love you. And what I saw by that scene is you both were selfish. You both refused to compromise. And again, my apologies, Gently, because I really came hard on you last episode. Like, you weren't the one willing to sacrifice. And I said that only because as women, we're called to sacrifice a lot more than men. But in reality, the reality was they could have both given a little for the marriage. So they say their goodbyes, and she starts cleaning. A couple of minutes later, guess who shows up to help her clean? It is Mr. Evan! Evan is helping her clean up, but in the midst of cleaning up, they're finding that love, that chemistry, that vibe, that energy that made them first connect and first hook up and first fall in love. They're dancing, they're laughing, dancing to that 1920s woman, that music. All the stress of not being married and having to make some shit work was lifted. They were just enjoying the moment, just having a genuinely good time. They find a bottle of hooch to drink, some nice champagne. I think that champagne was like $200 a bottle. And Gently is like me. Gently is like, we ain't wasting this shit. So they took that. They were drinking and reminiscing. And they got to a point where they tried to say, but I wasn't fooled, It is what it is. We're in a good space. We don't have any regrets. And after they said that they didn't have any regrets, they kissed, they looked at each other, and all I saw was regret. And the regret that I saw was two people who love each other, who wish they were still together. After that, they kissed passionately. I mean, soon as I get home, I'll make it up to you. Baby, I'll do what I gotta do. That type of kiss, and the episode is over. Ava, don't do that. Don't do that. That was bittersweet because we don't know what happened. I don't know if they got together. I don't know if it was amicable in a way where they received their closure and went on with their separate lives. We don't know, Sway. Guys, please keep supporting shows like this. That's all I gotta say. I'm at 20 minutes. I was supposed to do this by 15. I'm late for Home Depot. Well, whatever. I wish them Negroes would fire me. Like, do me a damn favor and fire me. But I say else to say, please, guys, let's support shows like this. Let's support shows like this to get the viewership up so that we can continue to have these kind of amazing, dynamic, layered type of shows. Because, child, if I tell you I got more of Nene Leakes throwing peanuts at Kenya left in me to watch, I don't have that. I need to see talented people who can tell a story that makes me feel. That was my review of Cherish today, people. I love you. Hit me up. I write resumes. Follow my blog, blissfullySingleBean.com, and I will catch you in the next one.